this video, we're going to have a look at CheckCentral's NinjaOne backup integration. This integration will automatically create checks for backup jobs in your NinjaOne environment and then regularly pull NinjaOne for recent backup activities. We'll step through the configuration steps necessary to get started. To get started, we'll head to the Direct Integrations page located under the Services menu. We'll click the Add Direct Integration button. We'll click NinjaOne RMM Backup from the list of available integrations. This will present us with the new Direct Integration wizard. The first thing we need to do is name our direct integration. In this example, we'll just stick with the default name. In the host URL field, enter in the URL you use to access your NinjaOne environment. For example, app.ninjarmm.com. Next, we'll need to switch over to our NinjaOne environment in order to create a new client app ID and corresponding secret. Log into your NinjaOne portal. We'll click on Administration in the sidebar. On the next page, we'll expand the Apps section and click on API. Select the Client App IDs tab if not already selected, then click Add. In the Application Platform field, select API Services (machine to machine). In the Name field, enter in a name like CheckCentral Integration. In the Redirect URIs field, enter in the following URL. In the Scopes section, check the Monitoring checkbox. In the Allowed Grant Types section, check all three boxes for Authorization Code, Client Credentials, and Refresh Token. Click Save. A pop-up displaying the secret will be displayed. Copy this down to enter into CheckCentral shortly. Click Close. This will return us back to the Client App IDs list. Locate the Client App ID that was just created and click the Copy icon beside the Client ID displayed. Copy this down to enter into CheckCentral shortly. We're now ready to switch back to CheckCentral. In the Secret field, we'll paste the secret that we copied from the NinjaOne portal. In the Client ID field, we'll paste in the client ID that we copied from the NinjaOne portal. Click Next. We're presented with the Group Assignment page. This is where we'll set which group our checks will be assigned to. If we have a look at the default check group section, we'll see that by default, CheckCentral will assign new checks to groups based on the organization value of the backup job. Further down, we can see that if there isn't an existing group that matches the organization value, CheckCentral will go ahead and create a new group using that value and assign the check to that group. These can all be customized to accommodate your use case, but we'll stick with these default settings for this example. Underneath the default check group section, there's a section called Customize Group Assignment. This allows us to manually map organizations in NinjaOne to CheckCentral groups. You can also click on the Auto Match Groups button to have CheckCentral attempt to automatically map those organizations to groups. Once we've set up our group assignments, we'll click on the Save and Create Check Definition button to continue with our setup. The check definition setup allows us to choose exactly what jobs we're having CheckCentral monitor, how those checks are identified, and how we should be notified when there are issues. We'll start by setting up our matching rules. By default, CheckCentral will create checks for all jobs it discovers. You can create rules to only include specific jobs if needed, but in this example, we'll create checks for all jobs. We'll click Next to continue. we're presented with the check identification page. This allows us to configure how we want our checks named and what labels to apply. We'll start with the check name template. By default, the checks will be named based on dynamic values pulled from the NinjaOne integration, in this case, the device being backed up. This can be edited if needed, but we'll stick with the default settings here for this example. Next, we can set what label will be applied to the check. By default, the label is created based on dynamic values from the integration as well, starting with the integration name followed by the policy type. This can be changed if needed, but we'll stick with the default for this as well. The check group section allows us to override the group mappings we set up during the previous steps, but in this example, we don't need to make any changes. We'll click Next to continue. The notifications page lets us configure how we want to be notified when there are issues. We can choose to be emailed, receive a text message, receive push notifications via the CheckCentral mobile app, as well as several other options. If you've configured other notification services or ticketing systems, those can be selected as well. Additional options to further refine when alerts are sent are also available, but for our example, we'll stick with the defaults. We'll click Next to continue. The final page shows us a summary of what checks will be created, and we can see what the name of our checks will look like, as well as what label they'll be assigned. Since everything looks good, we'll go ahead and click on the Save button. We'll be taken to the Integration Overview page. From here, we can see a list of backup jobs that have been discovered by our integration and view the resulting checks. This integration will update data on a regular schedule, but we can manually request an update by clicking on the Update button located at the top of the page. If we refresh the page here, we can see that some activities have been created, meaning CheckCentral has received some backup status information from NinjaOne. If we open up one of our checks here, we can see the new activity under the Recent Activities table. We can click on the latest activity we received here to view the backup status information CheckCentral received from NinjaOne. We've now completed configuring our NinjaOne integration in CheckCentral. CheckCentral will automatically create checks for any new backup jobs it discovers from our NinjaOne environment and update those regularly. As always, CheckCentral will keep an eye on things and let us know if there are any issues.